One of the biggest mistakes you can make in life is believing that everyone will see your worth. The truth is, not everyone will appreciate you, not everyone will respect you, and not everyone will understand the value you bring to the table. And that's okay. What's not okay is spending your precious energy trying to convince people who have already made up their minds about you. Too often, we chase after the approval of people who are not meant to walk with us. We want them to see our hard work, to acknowledge our kindness, to appreciate our presence. We bend, we shrink, we mold ourselves into something we think they will respect, and still they do not. Because their lack of respect for you has nothing to do with what you do. It has everything to do with who they are. Some people do not respect you because they do not respect themselves. They carry wounds, insecurities, and fears that they project onto others. They see your strength, your confidence, your light, and instead of being inspired, they feel threatened. They dismiss you not because you lack value, but because they cannot handle what you bring. Others do not respect you because they cannot control you. They thrive on dominance, manipulation, and power. And when you refuse to be controlled, when you set boundaries, when you demand to be treated with dignity, they react with disrespect. Understand this. People who are used to walking over others will always have a problem with those who refuse to be stepped on. And then there are those who simply refuse to see your worth because they have already decided not to. No matter how kind you are, how giving, how patient, you could hand them the world and they would still act like you owe them something. You could show up with nothing but love and they would still treat you like you are replaceable. This is why seeking validation from the wrong people is dangerous. You will spend your life trying to prove yourself to those who will never appreciate you. You will exhaust your spirit trying to earn respect from people who do not even respect themselves. You will lose parts of yourself in the process of trying to be seen. Respect is not something you beg for. It is something you demand by the way you carry yourself and the limits you set. If people know they can walk all over you, they will. If people know they can disrespect you without consequences, they will. That is why setting boundaries is not just important, it is necessary for your peace, your self-worth, and your overall well-being. The problem is many people set boundaries but fail to enforce them. They say, I won't tolerate disrespect, but when someone crosses the line, they let it slide. They say, I don't entertain negativity, but when toxic people show up in their lives, they keep engaging. A boundary without enforcement is just a suggestion. And the moment people realize your boundaries are flexible, they will keep pushing, keep testing, and keep taking advantage. Understand this, not everyone will like your boundaries. In fact, the people who benefited from your lack of them will be the first to get upset when you start enforcing them. They will call you difficult. They will say you've changed. They will try to guilt trip you, manipulate you, or make you feel like you are doing something wrong, but that is not your problem. People who genuinely respect you will respect your boundaries without question. The only ones who get angry are the ones who were using you. You have to be willing to be firm, even when it's uncomfortable. You have to be willing to say no without explaining yourself. You have to be willing to walk away when people refuse to respect the limits you have set. Do not negotiate your self-respect. Do not allow people to treat you however they want just because you don't want to lose them. Because the truth is, if someone only stays in your life when they can cross your boundaries, they are not meant to be there in the first place. Setting boundaries is an act of self-love. It is a way of saying, I value myself too much to tolerate mistreatment. It is a way of protecting your peace, your energy, and your sense of self. And the stronger you become in enforcing your boundaries, the less tolerance you will have for anyone who refuses to respect them. There is a certain power in silence that most people will never understand. When someone disrespects you, the natural instinct is to react, to defend yourself, to argue, to prove a point. But here's what you need to realize. Your reaction is their reward. The moment you respond, the moment you let their words or actions trigger you, they have won. They have pulled you into their energy, their chaos, their negativity, and that is exactly what they want. Some people thrive on your reaction. They want to see you upset. They want to get under your skin. They want to feel like they have control over your emotions. Because when they can control your emotions, they can control you. And when you react, you give them permission to dictate how you feel, how you move, how you carry yourself. You let them steal your peace. Silence, on the other hand, confuses people. It leaves them unsettled. When you refuse to react, when you refuse to argue, when you refuse to explain yourself, they don't know what to do. They expect a fight. They expect a response. But when you give them nothing, they are left alone with their own negativity. They are forced to sit with their own energy. And that in itself is the most powerful response you can give. Not everyone deserves access to your emotions. Not everyone deserves an explanation. Not everyone deserves your time and energy. When people show you disrespect, your silence is not weakness, it is control. It is strength. It is choosing not to lower yourself to their level, because the moment you engage, you validate them. You tell them that their words or actions have power over you. Some battles are won by walking away. Some wars are won by refusing to fight. When you stop reacting, people start to wonder. They start to question why they can no longer affect you. They start to realize that their words have lost their power. And that is when you truly regain control. Not by arguing, not by explaining, but by being completely unapologetically unbothered. One of the biggest traps you can fall into is worrying about what other people think of you. It's natural to want to be liked, to be understood, to be respected. But the hard truth is that some people will never respect you no matter what you do. You could be the kindest, most hardworking, most loyal person in the room, and there will still be people who doubt you, criticize you, and look down on you. If you spend your time chasing their approval, you will lose sight of what truly matters, your own growth. You do not have time to sit around wondering why someone does not like you. You do not have time to replay conversations in your head, trying to figure out if you said something wrong. You do not have time to shrink yourself just to fit into someone else's version of who they think you should be. Every moment you spend worrying about someone else's opinion is a moment you could be using to build yourself, to invest in your future, to work on your dreams. The people who judge you, the people who gossip about you, the people who disrespect you, they are not building anything. They are not growing. Because people who are focused on their own growth do not have time to tear others down. People who are truly successful, truly fulfilled, truly confident in themselves. Those are the ones who encourage others, not diminish them. You must understand that their opinions do not define you. Their judgments do not shape your reality. You are not here to meet their expectations. You are not here to prove yourself to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. You are here for something greater, and that greater purpose requires you to keep moving forward, no matter who doubts you, Think about this. The tallest tree in the forest does not waste time worrying about the weeds growing at its base. It simply grows. It reaches for the sky. It does not stop to explain itself. It does not beg for approval. It simply becomes what it was meant to be. And that is exactly what you must do. The moment you stop chasing validation and start focusing on your own growth, something powerful happens. You outgrow the people who once tried to hold you back. You elevate beyond the opinions that once kept you small. You become so focused, so disciplined, so in tune with your own path that nothing they say can shake you. Because at the end of the day, their opinions will not build your future. Their disrespect will not stop your success. The only thing that truly matters is the work you put in and the belief you have in yourself. Letting go of people who don't respect you is one of the hardest but most necessary things you will ever do. It is human nature to want to hold on to relationships, to friendships, to connections that once felt meaningful. But here's the truth, not everyone is meant to stay in your life. Some people come as lessons, and their presence is only temporary. The mistake we make is trying to keep them longer than they were meant to be there. When someone continuously disrespects you, they are showing you who they are. And when you continue to allow it, you are showing them that their behavior is acceptable. If someone cannot value you, if they cannot appreciate your presence, if they cannot treat you with the respect you deserve, then they have no place in your life. It does not matter how long you have known them. It does not matter how much history you share. It does not matter what you have done for them in the past. What matters is how they treat you now. There is no need for a dramatic exit. You do not have to argue. You do not have to explain yourself. You do not have to wait for them to understand why you are walking away. Some people will never understand, and that is not your responsibility. Your responsibility is to protect your peace, to protect your energy, to surround yourself with people who uplift and respect you, not those who tear you down. Guilt is what keeps many people stuck in toxic relationships. You feel guilty for cutting off a friend because they've been in your life for years. You feel guilty for distancing yourself from family members who mistreat you. You feel guilty for ending a relationship that no longer serves you. But let me tell you something. You do not owe anyone your peace. You do not owe anyone access to your life. You are allowed to remove yourself from situations that do not align with your growth, your happiness, and your well-being. The people who truly care about you will not put you in a position where you have to question your worth. They will not make you feel small. They will not repeatedly cross your boundaries. And if someone does, you must love yourself enough to walk away. Because every time you hold on to the wrong people, you are blocking space for the right ones to come in. Walking away does not mean you are weak. It does not mean you are heartless. It means you respect yourself enough to stop settling for less than you deserve. It means you are choosing yourself over people who refuse to choose. And the moment you do that, you free yourself from the burden of toxic relationships and open the door to a life filled with genuine love, peace, and respect. There comes a point in life when you have to stop explaining yourself. Stop hoping for people to change, and stop waiting for the respect that should have been given to you from the start. Some people will never treat you right, no matter how much you love them, no matter how much you show up for them, no matter how much you try to prove your worth. And that is when you must make a decision, not for them, but for yourself. You must remove them from your life unapologetically, without hesitation, and without guilt. But that's where most people struggle with guilt. You tell yourself, maybe I'm overreacting, maybe I'm being too harsh, maybe they didn't mean it. And so you stay, you tolerate disrespect, you let them cross your boundaries again and again. You give them chance after chance, hoping that one day they will finally see your worth. But let me tell you something. People who do not respect you will not suddenly wake up one day and start treating you right. If they wanted to, they already would have. Letting go is not easy. It will hurt. It will make you question yourself. It will make you feel like you're doing something wrong. Because society teaches us to hold on to relationships, to forgive endlessly, to prioritize loyalty over our own well-being. But there is a difference between forgiveness and self-betrayal. There is a difference between giving someone grace and allowing them to walk all over you. At some point, you have to ask yourself, am I holding on because I truly want this person in my life, or am I holding on because I'm afraid to let go? It is not your job to fix people. It is not your job to teach someone how to respect you. It is not your job to convince anyone of your worth. When someone continuously disrespects you, they are showing you exactly how they feel about you. And when you keep them in your life, despite their actions, you are showing them exactly how little you respect yourself. Walking away does not mean you hate them. It does not mean you wish them harm. It does not mean you are bitter or resentful. It simply means you have chosen yourself. And choosing yourself is not selfish. It is necessary. The reality is, when you remove the wrong people, the right people start showing up. When you let go of toxic energy, you make room for peace. When you stop settling for disrespect, you teach others how to treat you. You are not losing anything by letting go of those who mistreat you. You are gaining yourself, and that is the most valuable thing you will ever have. Respect is not something you should have to beg for. It is not something you should have to earn from people who are unwilling to give it. The way others treat you is a reflection of them. The way you allow it is a reflection of you. At some point, you have to decide that your peace, your dignity, and your self-worth are worth more than tolerating disrespect. You must stop seeking validation from those who will never give it to you. Set boundaries that protect your energy and enforce them without hesitation. Choose silence over reaction, because not everyone deserves access to your emotions. Shift your focus away from their opinions and toward your own growth. And most importantly, remove those who do not respect you without guilt, without second guessing, and without looking back. Because the moment you stop tolerating disrespect, you step into your power. You teach the world how you deserve to be treated. And most importantly, you show yourself that you are worthy of a life filled with genuine love, peace, and respect. There is nothing more valuable than your peace. Nothing. It is the foundation of your happiness, your focus, and your ability to thrive. But too often, people allow their energy to be drained by those who do not respect them, by those who bring negativity, drama, and unnecessary stress into their lives. If you are constantly surrounded by people who belittle you, disregard your feelings, and refuse to honor your boundaries, you will always feel exhausted, frustrated, and unfulfilled. That is why protecting your energy must become a priority, not an afterthought. Understand this. Not everyone deserves access to you. Not everyone should be allowed to drain your time, your emotions, and your spirit. You have to be intentional about the people you allow into your space. Some people only come into your life to take your kindness for granted, to take advantage of your generosity, to take your energy without ever pouring anything back into you. And if you are not careful, you will find yourself giving so much to others that you have nothing left for yourself. You must learn to walk away from situations that disrupt your peace. Not everything requires a response. Not everything deserves your attention. When someone disrespects you, you do not have to argue. You do not have to explain yourself. You do not have to prove a point. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is simply disengage. Protecting your peace means recognizing when something or someone is no longer serving you and having the courage to let it go. And let me tell you, choosing peace over chaos is a skill. It takes practice. It takes discipline. It takes the willingness to disappoint people who expect you to always be available, always be accommodating, always be understanding, even when they refuse to give you the same in return. But the truth is, you do not owe anyone your energy at the expense of your own well-being. You do not have to keep toxic people in your life just because of history, obligation, or fear of being alone. Your peace is your responsibility. Your mental and emotional well-being should always come first. And the moment you start protecting your energy, you will notice a shift. You will feel lighter. You will feel more in control. You will no longer be weighed down by the negativity of others, because at the end of the day, your life is yours to live. And you deserve to live it in a way that brings you joy, fulfillment, and most importantly, peace. Your energy is your most valuable resource. It fuels your dreams, your confidence, and your ability to live a meaningful life. But when you allow people who don't respect you to remain in your space, they drain that energy without a second thought. Disrespect, negativity, and toxic behavior are not just things you deal with. They are things that slowly erode your sense of self. And if you're not careful, you will wake up one day feeling exhausted, feeling empty, wondering how you lost yourself, trying to accommodate people who never truly valued you in the first place. So you have to become intentional about protecting your energy. You have to make a decision. Who do I allow in my space? Who do I give my time to? Who do I let influence my thoughts, my emotions, my mindset? Because every conversation, every interaction, every relationship is either adding to your life or taking away from it. And if someone is constantly taking your kindness for granted, taking advantage of your patience, taking away your joy, then you have to recognize that it's time to put yourself first. When you prioritize your peace, you stop feeling guilty for saying no. You stop explaining yourself to people who don't deserve an explanation. You stop chasing after those who make you feel unworthy. You start making choices that align with your well-being, not just choices that keep others comfortable. And let me tell you something. There is power in that. There is power in choosing peace over drama, in choosing self-respect over validation, in choosing yourself over people who have proven they don't deserve you. But let's be honest, protecting your peace will make some people uncomfortable. Some will call you selfish. Some will say you've changed. Some will try to manipulate you into feeling bad for walking away. And that's when you must remind yourself, my peace is not up for negotiation. Your peace is not something you should sacrifice just to maintain relationships that bring you nothing but stress. There will be people who test you, people who want to provoke a reaction, people who try to pull you back into their chaos. But that is when you must remember silence is a response. Distance is a response. Choosing not to engage is a response. And sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is remove yourself completely. This is about self-respect, about knowing your worth, about refusing to allow anyone to rob you of the peace you are working so hard to build. Because at the end of the day, your energy is sacred. Your peace is priceless. And once you start protecting it, you will never allow anyone to disturb it again.